These are the colored belt techniques for white, orange, and yellow belts for our November and December testing cycle. We'll start with stances. Middle stance. 3 feet wide, knees are bent, toes are pointed forward, hands are up. When we say hands up, we don't mean hands up here. We're not protecting our face. Hands up nice and high. Elbows almost at shoulder level. If your elbows drop below your shoulders, then your hands are down. You can be striking the head. So again, 3 feet wide, knees are bent, toes are pointed forward, hands up, eyes on target. Middle stance. Middle stance. Front stance. Front stance is a little bit wider than your shoulders. If you were to look down, I'm going to do my left foot first. If I was going to a left front stance, I would, right where my toes are, I would put my heel there. I would go 1, right where my toes are, 2, right where my toes are, I'd put my heel there 3 times. My front leg is bent, my back leg is straight, my toes are pointed forward, my hands are up. And again, my elbows are nice and high, about shoulder level. Anytime I drop those, the top of my head is exposed. Okay, this would be a left front stance. My hips and my shoulders are straight forward. If you're having a problem with your back foot not being pointing forward, okay, a lot of time is it because you're allowing this hip to turn out of position. So I want to make sure front leg bent, back leg straight, toes pointed forward, hands up, eyes on target. Left front stance, left leg in front. Right front stance, right leg in front. Again, a little bit wider than your shoulders, 3 feet long, hands up nice and high. This would be a right front stance. My green hand, green leg is in front. This would be my left front stance, left leg in front. I'm gonna go back to the middle stance to show you how to get into a back stance. So from my middle stance is 3 feet wide. I'm gonna look to my left side. My right foot is gonna point towards the camera. This would now be a right back stance. My back stance is 3 feet long. Most of my weight is on my back leg. A lot of times we see people leaning here. My weight is on my back leg. This would be a right back stance because my right leg is in the back. This would be the direction of my target. So here's my right back stance. My heels line up in a line. A lot of times we'll see people, here's where your back stance should be, where your heels line up. A lot of times we'll see people stand this way, or they'll stand way over here. Your heels should line up. Again, most of your weight on your back leg. I'm gonna switch this to a left back stance. Now I'm gonna look to the right side of the room. My left leg will be in the back, away, also pointed towards the camera. Left back stance. And again, weight on your back leg. You gotta practice this stance a lot, so that way you get used to keeping that weight on that back leg. I'm gonna go into blocks now. Out of a left front stance, okay? We already talked through the left front stance. I'm gonna chamber for a knife hand low block. We're gonna do a left knife hand low block. So my left hand will come to my right ear. My right arm will point down at my left leg. My left knife hand low block will go, and a lot of people remember, 1 pop can length past, 1 pop can length out, knife hand low block, knife hand low block. From the side view, out of my left front stance, knife hand low block, knife hand low block. Out of a right front stance, here's my right front stance. So my right leg is gonna pull back to my left ear. My left arm is gonna point down. Here's my knife hand low block. As you do a knife hand low block, try not to look down. Try to look straight forward. You'll need to practice enough times that you get used to your knife hand low block stopping in this position. Why you have to check it is because you haven't practiced enough, so you're not sure where it's supposed to be. A lot of times we'll see people do a knife hand low block and they'll stop before they pass their leg. This block is protecting an outside strike to the ACL type side of your leg. So knife hand low block. From here, I'm gonna stay in this right front stance. I'm gonna chamber for a knife hand high block. My left arm will go above my head. My right hand will come back to my side. My hand will be in the knife hand position, so it'll be open. My right hand and left hand will start to travel at the same time. My left arm will come straight down. My right arm will go straight up. A lot of times we see people flip this and they start raising their elbow right away. Your elbow will be the last thing to raise. My hand will go straight up on the inside. Right at the very end, I'm gonna rotate my elbow up. There's gonna be an explosion of that technique right there at the top. So knife hand high block. A side view. This is my right knife hand high block. It goes to the inside. You don't want this arm to travel on the outside. So right knife hand high block. Left knife hand high block. My left hand will come back to my side. My right hand will go up in the air above my head. Okay, the hand going up goes to the inside. I'm gonna do a slow one so you see the rotation. And now this time, as I throw this left arm up, my elbow will come up strong right at the very end. Left knife hand high block. Double knife hand block. Out of your middle stance, maybe out of a back stance, is normally where these are done. I'm gonna show you out of a middle stance. I'm gonna chamber for a double knife hand block. My block is gonna go to my left side. My right arm will extend as far away from my body as I can, palm down. My left hand will come back to my right armpit, palm up. As I block, okay, my left arm will come around. It'll do an outer form block. My right arm will come around and block my chest. If you notice, they're gonna be at the same angle. It's not this one in, this one down, this one here. They're gonna be at the same angle. So when I finish, these hands are pretty much parallel to each other on this double knife hand block. Okay, palm up, palm down, double knife hand block. Chambering on the other side. My left arm will extend as far as it'll go. My right hand will go into my armpit. I like to tell the tiny tigers that you rub your stinky hand, so that's how they remember palm up, into your stinky armpit. When this hand goes out, it goes in the bad guy space, and then this hand comes around and blocks. So double knife hand block. Here's a side view, double knife hand block. Now I'm gonna show you one of the things that we see a lot where people make a mistake. The trajectory of this block is blocking something coming from this direction. So my block is gonna go here. What we see a lot of times people do is they block, but they do what we call scoop and snow. They let their arms drop down. So that would mean that something needs to be coming down, that you're blocking it up. So if you're doing that, the trajectory is wrong. The trajectory needs to be here. It's blocking this way. But a lot of times we'll see people scoop. So make sure as you block, your arms go out away from your body to block. They don't go down and come up. This would be a wrong technique, okay? Double knife hand block. So make sure, again, they come out away from your body, double knife hand block. Super important block. You're gonna use this at every rank, okay? Front punch, reverse punch. If I'm in a left front stance, okay, I'm gonna chamber my left arm out. Right now I am ready for a reverse punch. Reverse punch rule is back leg, back arm. So my reverse punch, now I am prepared for a front punch. Front leg, front arm. Once I punch, there's my front punch. So reverse punch, front punch. Reverse punch, front punch. Front leg, front arm, reverse punch. Back leg, back arm. It's the exact same thing on the opposite side. So when I punch, reverse punch, back leg, back arm, front punch, front leg, front arm. Again, a technique that you're gonna have front and reverse techniques of all your hand techniques from now until you're a 6th degree and higher, okay? Believe me, I still have them in my techniques. We're gonna do a knife hand strike, okay? Knife hand strike out of my middle stance. I'm gonna do left knife hand strike. So my left hand is gonna come to my right ear, palm in. My right hand will be on the bottom, palm down. I'm gonna do it in 2 separate sections. I'm gonna pull my right hand back to my side. My left hand is gonna come out. It's gonna do the knife hand strike. It's gonna flip over right at the end. So here's my knife hand strike. When they're working together, 2 hands moving at the same time. Left knife hand strike, right knife hand strike. My right hand comes to my left ear, palm in. A lot of times we'll see this hand down here, or we'll see it knuckles in. Make sure the palm is rotated in, kind of like you're listening to a seashell. Right knife hand strike. That left hand will pull back to this side. Here is a side view of a knife hand strike. Knife hand strike. Okay, from here we're gonna go back fist strike. Very similar trajectory. The way it travels to my knife hand strike. But my back fist strike, I'm gonna use these knuckles right here as my striking surface. This is what I'm striking with. I'm using the back of these knuckles to strike my target. So the trajectory is really important. So I'll start this one sideways. See, I'm gonna do a right knife hand or back fist strike. So my thumb is gonna finish in the up position when I finish, so I'm striking this direction with the back of my knuckles. But as I pull it back to my other ear, it's gonna start thumb down. So my back fist strike, and this one's gonna be, this first one, I'm gonna go a little bit extra outside. I'm gonna make it come this direction to do my back fist strike. Now you don't need to go way out here. If you notice, I'm sending my shoulder out there. That one's way over exaggerated. But my back fist strike is gonna come here. My elbow will stop and my back fist strike will continue. So if you think about bring this elbow to here and then back fist strike, there's where your back fist strike goes. So that's left, that's a right back fist strike. A left back fist strike, again, it starts thumb down, it finishes thumb up, using these knuckles to strike my target. Here's a side view. Right back fist strike, right hand is back by my ear, thumb down, right back fist strike. Left back fist strike. I'm gonna look to the left side of the room, left back fist strike. And again, we want that rotation of that strike right at the very end. Vertical spear hand strike, okay? You must be able to say the process for this strike. So, we talk about it in class. We say close, turn, open, go. Close, turn, open, go. Think about the way that you would walk through a door. You would reach out, you would close your hand around the doorknob, you would turn, you would open, and you would go. That's a good way to just remember it, okay? So again, it's gonna be close, turn, open, go. So I'm gonna start in a middle stance. I'll kind of go at an angle so you can see this a little bit better. I'm gonna put my front hand out. My back hand is gonna be prepared. It's gonna be open already. I'm gonna go ahead and do my first spear hand, and now I can start with close, turn. I'm gonna open my other hand, go. If you keep saying it, close, turn, open, go. After a while, close, turn, open, go, close, turn, open, go. You'll just get faster and better. You won't even have to think about it after a while. But in the beginning, we really want you to go from your first spear hand, close, turn, open, go. Close, turn, open, go. Close, turn, open, go. Close, turn, open, go. Now, a couple things that we want to talk about. Where we're striking, okay? So most of the time this will be to your sternum, to your stomach. So close, turn, open, go. Maybe you drop that shoulder down just a little bit. Close, turn, open, go. The other thing that we see a lot is people will do their spear hand and they'll have this thumb way up in the air. And we like to think of, if your spear hand's coming out and you spear hand at me and I move out of the way and your thumb goes into my armpit, what's gonna happen? We're gonna break that thumb. So please keep that thumb down. Now that thumb doesn't go to the inside. It just rides on top of those fingers, okay? So that is a vertical spear hand strike. Out of a left front stance, we're gonna do front kicks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So first what you need to know is the rules. Number 1, front leg kicks. Number 2, back leg kicks. Number 3, back leg moves, front leg kicks. Number 4, front leg moves, back leg kicks, lands in front. All white and orange and yellow belts are required to be able to say those rules, okay? They are required. If you plan on testing at the end of December, I'm gonna ask you what a number 1 does. You're gonna say front leg kicks. Number 2, back leg kicks. Number 3, back leg moves, front leg kicks. Number 4, front leg moves, back leg kicks, lands in front. So let's start with number 1, front kick, front leg kicks. Number 1, knee up, snap out. I'm using the ball of my foot is what I'm striking with. So make sure if you were wearing high heels, that's the part of your foot that's touching the ground. That is a very strong point of your foot. So we're gonna do number 1, front kick. Number 2, I'm gonna aim my knee. Number 2 is back leg kicks. I'm gonna aim my knee. Number 2, front kick. Number 3, back leg moves, front leg kicks. Number 4, front leg moves, back leg kicks, lands in front. All of these are for different distances from your opponent. Number one is, this person is pretty close, okay? You can kind of see it in the background, let's use the American flag kind of as our reference point, okay? So number one is, I'm about this close to my opponent. So number one front kick, boom, okay? Number two, I'm a little bit further away, and again, we'll use the American flag as our reference. Number two front kick is back leg kicks. Number three, I'm further away from my target. I need to close some space. So number three is back leg moves, front leg kicks. Number four, I'm really, really close to my target. I need to create space. So again, if you're looking at the American flag in the background, you'll see where I create space here. Number four is front leg moves, back leg kicks, lands in front. 1, 2, 3, and 4 front kicks. Jump front kicks, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? On number one and number two, common things that we see. We're gonna see people pick up their back leg before they do their number one. We're gonna see people pick up their front leg before they do number two. It's essential and it's vitally important that you bend both legs and jump out of that position. Don't step up a little bit to make it easier. You want to learn how to jump out of this front stance. So out of my left front stance, number one, jump front kick. I'm going to bend both knees, squat down a little bit. I'm going to jump straight up in the air. Number one, jump front kick, front leg kicks. Number two, out of my front stance, I'm going to bend my knees, squat down, jump up. Number two, jump front kick. Number three, back leg moves, front leg kicks. The higher I bring my back leg up, the better my front leg will do. Number three, jump front kick. Number four, again, on a number four kick, I'm gonna create space. So I'm gonna jump backwards. Front leg moves, back leg kicks, lands in front. Number four, jump front kick. From the other side, right leg, number one, front leg kicks. Number two, back leg kicks. The hardest part about a number two is landing your leg back in the back. Number three, jump front kick. Back leg moves, front leg kicks. Number four, front leg moves, back leg kicks, lands in front. Round kicks, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, you have to remember the rules. Number one, front leg kicks. Number two, back leg kicks. Number three, back leg moves, front leg kicks. Number four, front leg moves, back leg kicks, lands in front. On a round kick, the trajectory, I'm gonna go to the ground so you can see. So my trajectory on a front kick is this: knee up, snap out. From here, knee up, snap out. On a round kick, it's very, very similar. But my knee and my shoulder are gonna be pointed at my target. My bottom leg will be straight. I'm gonna point my knee and shoulder, and I'm gonna snap from there. So there's my round kick. If I turn towards the camera, front kick, knee position, round kick, knee position. And I'll do these from a standing position here in just a second. So, if I was facing straight forward, here would be my front kick. Round kick would be a profile position. So I'm gonna be sideways to my target, okay? My knee and my shoulder will point at my target. A lot of times we'll see people throw a round kick and they'll leave this shoulder back here, and I'll show you what happens when we do that in a second. But knee and shoulder point, round kick, okay? That would be a number one. Front leg kicks. Again, I'm using the ball of my foot. That is very strong. One of the two strongest points of your foot. Ball and heel. On all the kicks that we're doing right now, ball of your foot. So, if I leave my shoulder back here and I throw my round kick, here's what happens, okay? Instead of, if my target was right here, what happens a lot of times is we shorten. So I'm not even able to hit. If this is where my target is, this line right here, I'm not able to hit my target. If I have my shoulder rotated to here, I'm able to kick through my target. So very important that we kick that shoulder, or they point that shoulder. Also on a round kick, pivot. Your bottom foot, your base foot that's on the ground, as I throw a #1 round kick this way, I'm gonna pivot. So my foot is gonna turn away from my target. If I throw another #1 this way, my foot points away from my target. If I'm throwing a #2 round kick, back leg kicks, I'm gonna turn and point my knee and shoulder this direction, but if you look at my base foot, it's pointed away from my target. Same thing on the other side, we'll do #2 round kick this way. I'm gonna pivot my base foot, point my knee and shoulder straight that direction, #2 round kick. So now I'm gonna do #1. #1 is front leg kicks. #2, back leg kicks. #3, back leg moves, front leg kicks. #4, front leg moves. Notice how I moved it way out of my way. I didn't move it to here. I want to go ahead and get turned sideways. So I'm going to go front leg moves all the way back here. Back leg kicks, lands in front. Side view of all these, #1, front leg kicks. #2, back leg kicks. Hardest part on that #2, getting your leg to the back of the room. #3, back leg moves, front leg kicks. #4, front leg moves, back leg kicks, lands in front. Again, if you have any questions outside of what I've answered here, please do not hesitate to ask. Text me, email me, whatever you need to do. Ask questions. A lot of times people will have a tough time with the technique, but a lot of times it's because they weren't willing to ask a question. So please be willing to ask. If you're not getting a technique, you must ask. Feet together, toes touching, child. Kunai. ATA. I hope this video works out really, really well for you, okay? Practice, keep working. At the end of December, we'll rank up to the next level.